You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You're now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. My man Jay Moore, how are you doing on this fine day, sir?
I'm doing well. You know, we're moving into what's supposed to be fall, you know, so shout out to everybody who enjoys the sweater weather.
I can dig it. My man Lonegevity, how are you, sir?
Doing all right, man. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Good to see you as always.
Good. Yeah,
my man DJ Jay Diff. What's happening, man?
Salutations.
Everything good your way?
Yes, sir. We are all here.
Yes,
this is true, my friend. This is true.
Topic number 1. Recently Doja Cat was speaking on Gaza, Congo, and other injustices at the Global Citizens Festival. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the Global Citizens Festival, but it's a social action platform for a global generation that aims to solve the world's biggest challenges.
Okay.
So the 2024 Global Citizens Festival takes aim at major issues perpetuating extreme poverty, hunger crisis, infectious diseases, debt on the rise, last year being the hottest on record. It's like a 6-hour live stream. See, there's a lot of major names here. I had never heard of this before. I don't know if you guys had, but
I'd heard of it, but you know, I'll be honest, never paid that much attention.
Millions of men, women, and children in Gaza, Ukraine, Sudan, the Congo, and all across the world are suffering. In times like this, it is important to remember that together we have the power to bring change, love, light, and hope to those who need it most. I joined forces with Global Citizen to help people in areas of conflict and crisis, and I know so many of you join me in taking action to earn your tickets to be here tonight. But we can't stop now. Please keep using your voice to help those fleeing violence get the food, shelter, and education they need and very, very much deserve. There is a beauty and strength in all of you who are watching this and who choose to be here tonight. And this is our time to put it into what matters most, and that is life.
I'm surprised they didn't cut her microphone as soon as she said Gaza.
that was going to be my question. Like, I think it was kind of cool that she mentioned like things like, you know, Gaza, Congo, and Ukraine and stuff like that. But as much as I want to be like, yeah, that's great, it's also seems just very performative.
It's almost like it was. It was potent in terms of what she was saying about, by all means, what I'm mentioning. You know, guys, but it kind of looked a little awkward. I guess holding the mic like that and just
you could her reading.
Yeah, you can see the situation. Yeah, it's. Sure. I don't know. It just didn't land maybe as well. I mean, A for effort, but maybe it just didn't land well.
Yeah,
I see where she was going though.
I mean, but she, you know, Doja's one of those artists who could, you know, if they ask her a question, she could be like, I don't know, I'm just an artist, and she'd go back to getting her money.
That's true.
So I will give her props, you know, especially if. You know, because to mention Gaza as some place that is in need of humanitarian relief,
right? You
know, for some people is a controversial thing to say. I mean, she didn't go as far as Macklemore,
for sure.
You know, but
man.
You know, and that's okay. That's okay. You know, she's clearly on a platform. Once again, it's a festival. There are lots of A-list artists there. Has to be some level of corporate, you know, influence on all of this. I think
even if it's a global citizens event,
you know, and I think, I think maybe it was careful because she said Gaza, you know, but she didn't say Palestinian. I think that's the boogeyman word for a lot of entertainers right now. They don't want to say anything in support of the Palestinian people and to say that those people need relief and they're being done wrong. So, you know, that's fine. I think anytime when you can use your platform, especially when you don't have to speak up for people who cannot speak for themselves, you know, and I'm not sure where I fall in the Ukraine thing. I mean, I realize that's a war, you know, but I also realize, hey, we're giving those people a lot of money, you know. I just know in the Congo, I think that it's one of those things where you tell people about it and they're like, what? That's really happening right now? You know, especially
it's been happening for a minute.
It's been happening for a minute. And plus, like, it's hard sometimes when you don't just read the front page of the paper. And you do a little deep dive and you see exactly how basically, you know, everybody's all in these electric cars and, you know, we talk about, you know, even our phones and computers and all that is being mined and not mined particularly humanitarily, out of several places in Africa. You know, you see how the influence of, you know, all the Chinese that are going into Africa because they need those resources. And it's very layered. And like I said, it's hard to like know stuff sometimes.
No, for sure.
Yeah. And
there's a lot of misinformation that's just is everywhere right now. So it makes it even worse.
That's the world we live in. You never know what you're actually looking at.
You know, so sometimes when people, you know, want to talk about Diddy all the time, and I'm like, do you realize what else is going on in the world right now?
The thing about it is, and I hate when people use that example, and the only reason I hate when people use that because they always use it whenever. No.
Oh, okay. I was about to say
they only use that current event example.
Okay.
So I think everybody here, and I'm speaking on behalf of all of us, we are not one track minded individuals.
Right.
So when you went to school, you had how many classes a day?
Yeah, it's what, 6 or 7?
Okay, so you had to learn what was going on in all of those classes, and you had to navigate all of those classes separately.
Right.
But you knew about all of them at the collective exact same time.
Yeah, just because you study for your math test didn't mean you couldn't hold geography in your mind.
Exactly. So I hate when people use that example for that reason. I can focus on or concentrate on more than one thing at the same time. Mm-hmm. The problem is there are certain people that are not going to concentrate on those things anyway. They just want the junk food.
That's true.
Yeah. That's what they're going to concentrate on. But I would like to say the average person can hold multiple things in their mind at the same time and focus on them. Yeah. Although the Diddy situation is taking up a lot of space in the media and news on a entertainment level.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you can't focus on more than one thing. Hell, we focus on more than one bill every month. True. When it comes payday, you got to pay all of those bills. You got to make sure you don't fall behind on nothing. True. So we're not one track minded people. Mm-hmm. But it is very, I hate to say disheartening, but it's just how we are. I mean, we're what did you used to call the cats that lived over, the boxers, second, third class individuals. We live in a first class situation. Right. Or a country, so
when I said you got to watch out for the third world whites or second, yeah.
So our luxury is that you can not pay attention, but I like to think that we do. Well, at least people in my circle, we have a different mind state on things and pay attention to what's going on outside.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're very right. That. Yeah. So shout to Doja Cat. Don't ask her any follow-up questions though.
Flying Lotus and Thundercat had two different ones on a song off of Cosmogramma. So I don't know if you know that album.
Two different ones?
Like downbeats.
Oh, okay.
So this is just kind of a cool thing. So in a recent sit down with Robert Glassford, he's got his Black Radio Backstage series. Thundercat told this story about how he and Flying Lotus made a whole song and had a different one, if you will, to the song Dance to the Pseudo Nymph.
Song called Dance of the Pseudo Nymph. There's some moments like in playing where if somebody does something that's like a bit over the bar or like a odd bar phrase, it may take a second to pick up, but this had gone way beyond those incomprehensive moments where you're like, hold on, keep playing it. I'm gonna pick it up. Give me a second. There's this phase of me and Lotus where we would just be sitting there staring at the screen, pressing space bar, going all over the place. You'd be doing 10 songs at once, all kind of stuff. And so this song, as it's being formed, you could hear the song. It starts with the percussion. It's just a shaker that's going on. In my mind, it was on 2 and 4. Right. I was like, and we would never question each other's authority. We would be like, password. And be like, you got it? What? And you're like, yeah, that's it. What? Password. This was that moment. This was us sitting there, and I remember being like, I know where you're going with this. Yeah. And I start playing, and there would be moments where I would just take certain things for a second, and then I would be like, okay. And then I would want you to be like, let's add some layers or something. Let's add something to it. And so as I'm adding stuff, it's like this weird stop and go that's happening where he would start to, okay. And I'm like, okay, cool. As we're recording, I'm like this. If you could stopping the song, he's looking at me like, yeah, no, I just need you to, I line it up. And I'm like, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we get through the song, but there's no like conversation of any part of it. We were just like, like whatever. And then I remember we were playing Cosmogramma live and we were going over the song. And as soon as you count it off and I start, and Lotus would be like, it's me, Miguel, Lotus, Chris. okay, now Lotus said, hey, no, okay, wait, start it over. And I'll be like, all right. And I'll be like, he'd be like, what are you doing, man? And I'll be like, well, what are you doing? Why do you keep stopping the fucking song? Start it over again. Right. And I'm like, and in my mind, I wasn't drunk just yet, but I was like this is what we didn't address when we were working. Where are you counting one at? And he's like singing it, and I'm like this. I almost pass out because I couldn't even. What? I felt this was like some I Can See. I wrote the song. I was like, what the hell are you?
I Can See.
What the fuck are we playing? I was like, hold on. So then I'm like, well, this is what I'm hearing. He was like, how? How are you hearing that? And I was like, this is either proof that we are both from another planet with this shit. Absolutely. Because that's a level of communication that is clearly not ours. Because how do we get through this whole song on two different ones? It was like some Nacho Libre shit. We were like this. I'm not a child. I'm not a child. I am not a child. Start the song over again.
I want to know.
That's crazy.
I want to know which ones were the ones for each one of them.
Yeah. We'd have to actually
because almost
we'd have to play the song.
Yeah,
I'm just
trying to imagine, how are you still okay if I'm on the one and you're on the one? Are you hearing? Are you maybe on a three? What are we hearing? Because we should be kind of in sync if we're both on the same one.
So I guess this is kind of a good piece that goes along with, like, if you know Flying Lotus and Thundercat's music, it's extremely intricate, and so like they're musicians, if you will. You know what I mean? And so obviously they're on the podcast with Robert Glasper,
who's a musician's musician.
So
absolutely,
it's like, I don't know. I just thought that was like a super interesting thing of like two highly super skilled people that just, they both thought that they had a one and they still created something crazy, but neither of them had the one.
He took the words when he said, we're out of this world or alien type stuff. That's the first thing I was going to say.
I was like, this is alien music. And I've always thought that Flying Lotus made alien music. What's the name? Thundercat's the same way. His lyrics are like crazy. You could be listening to something real soulful and then listen to what he's talking about and you be like, this mother made a soulful ass song talking about a wave cat.
Man,
he's got a whole album called Drunk. So
sitting down and
I think that's the name of it, right?
Is that the name of the project?
No, it is called Drunk.
I think,
Sitting down, this blows my mind. I'm actually very intrigued I wish I could have been there for this, because playing with musicians in real time is a real thing. Lone knows that. And if there's two different ones and we're guessing back and forth, that's either going to be so confusing, or it's going to be the osmosis of it, or whatever you want to call it that he was describing, where it's going to work. There's only two options, because I would be super frustrated if that sounds frustrating just having him explain it, but it works.
Yeah, the song's called Dance of the Pseudo Nymph, if you want to look that up.
Yeah, so I got to go look it up now. I have to go look that up.
But a lot of their stuff, like when stuff is a lot more intricate too, you know, especially when there's a lot of syncopation, when there's a lot of percussion. Sometimes, and especially if like the claps and whatever aren't happening on the typical 2s and 4s, or they're not happening on the typical places. It's like Radiohead does a lot of interesting stuff like this too. Like it can actually be very challenging. Like there can be stuff going on in the music that like the people listening have no idea that's happening. And so it's just crazy that it went like 3 years before they realized that they were.
That's going to make me run and go listen to that record. That was a dope video. I like that.
That's crazy, man.
So, yeah. All right. So Diddy is facing 120 new accuser allegations over a 20-year span.
Woo.
Which is crazy. I didn't think we were going to talk about Diddy again for maybe a week or two at least. But,
I saw this right about 2 hours ago.
Yeah. So there's new SA allegations and they're mounting. And the Texas attorney, Tony Busby, announces his representation of 122 victims spanning 20. Now he doesn't tell stories for all 120.
I was about to say,
but this is just kind of a short little snippet of the press conference.
So let me share with you a few, just kind of give you a sense of the kind of cases and the kind of instances that people are calling and reporting that we are trying to corroborate, vet, and these are the ones that we've already corroborated, vetted, and collected evidence on. One individual who was 22 years at the time, the typical MO at one of these parties, when you are handed a drink And now we know that the drink is laced with something. If you refused to drink it, you were kicked out of the party. And now we know that in most cases, I would say 90% of the cases, these individuals were drugged with some sort of drug. That was kind of the MO. Another instance, this individual who was 9 years old at the time, taken to a audition in New York City with Bad Boy Records.
Crazy.
Another instance,
Crazy,
another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but he needed a visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. A very young man told us over the phone about his experience in the effort to try to sign a record deal, what he was told he would have to do. His quote is, "Had he not been in power, I feel like I could have been something great. I quit the industry because of what Sean Combs did to me." And that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Oh,
man,
boy.
that's crazy, bro.
Okay, because up until this point, it's been about people who are of age, you know, or at least of age, honestly, to drink and party or drugs, whatever. That's really an age for drugs, but okay. Now, when we start hearing 9 years old,
yeah,
this is something else.
So that clip was actually, I cut two pieces. It's actually, the first part was about the 9-year-old, and the other part was about another minor. So
See, I was actually ready to go in the whole spiel about it, and this is not a victim blaming situation.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if, since these allegations that came up, the NDAs expired because it's, and this happens all the time. Every time one person jumps out the window, everybody follows.
Yeah.
But to me, it always sits wrong with me for somebody that this is bothering, and it takes for them to get in trouble for you to say something. Almost like, and like I said, I'm not victim blaming or anything like that, but some people are out for the wrong things and other people need closure. But when you start talking about kids are involved, that made me feel a whole totally different type of way. So I'm hoping, no, I can't even say I'm hoping that those are true allegations. I hope those are fake.
Yeah.
I don't like hearing that.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I would say to that is, like, a lot of times with situations like this, you can't really do anything until you have enough steam or you have enough built up to, like, actually make a case.
And what state was that?
So Texas. Yeah. So yeah, that's
But we're talking about 120 people, and
that's
the thing
a lot. And he said that he actually was going through and actually vetting them too. He's like, this is 120 of people that we've actually vetted.
So it's probably people who might have just trying to bring it a cash grab, and we're like, no, dog, come on.
Yeah,
it's
disgusting, man.
That's just too. And once again, man, like, where is the person? Like, I just feel like if, say, one of us just got crazy drunk with power and ego, there'd be one of us, would be like, hey, man, you might need
put the baby oil down.
Yeah, exactly.
This ain't that.
Where, I just wonder. This is when you really realize you don't have any real friends. Or maybe it's just you got so many people on payroll who are afraid to say anything to you. Yeah. They're like, hey, dog, let's just go home.
Nah, those yes man fees are pretty expensive. You pay enough, everybody just sit back in the cut.
And once again, like your Diddy, there are people who are of age who are not going to say no. Bruh. You know what I'm saying? So the people are going to say no, be like, okay, you're dismissed. And they can feel some kind of way about that, but it's not a crime for you to tell people, if you don't want to get down with my freak, you can leave.
That part.
Yeah, I almost don't even want to make jokes about it anymore until I found out that this kid's situation.
Yeah, now you bring kids into it.
Yeah, that ain't it, bro.
It changes the whole picture for me.
Yeah. I agree, Terry.
I've seen quite a few, TikTok videos of people like coming out and explaining like stories that they've been through and stuff like that. And I had I mentioned another one a couple weeks ago, but there was another video I saw of somebody who said that she was in a room and her agent was in the room at the same time. And in the past, her like agent has her own thing that's already been going on in the background. Yeah. And so she didn't even want to mention anything about that, but she's like, yeah, I was in a room with, and she said I was in a room with Diddy and Kanye and a whole bunch of people, and everybody left. And I didn't drink the drink. And next thing I know, they're out, and I'm pressed up against the back of the whatever, and I kind of pushed forward. She's like, she actually mouthed help to people that were in the room, and they just kind of turned and looked away. And it was just kind of like, she's like, oh, this is where we're at, And so I don't know, man. All of it's kind of wild, but I didn't really expect this. I mean, maybe I did expect more allegations
more
to come
accusers.
out.
Yeah,
The
but
child
maybe not.
part, I ain't see that part.
But maybe not to like this extent.
All right.
Yeah, that ain't it.
No.
Don't like that.
All right, so this one is Dr. Umar defends Beyonce over the CMA snub. So Dr. Umar recently sat down with Dialogue, and he had this to say about Beyonce not getting any CMA nods.
The Country Music Awards Association should be absolutely embarrassed that they resulted to that form of racism. Cowboy Carter came in as the highest debut country album for a female artist ever. It was #1 on the country music Billboard chart for 2 weeks. She got more first day streams than any artist in Amazon Music history. She was among the top artists for first day streams in Spotify history. She broke about 5 records with the Cowboy Carter album. 13 of the songs on the Cowboy Carter album made their way to the Billboard 100, and she doesn't get a single nomination. How do you explain that, Art? You can't explain it. The only the only way you can explain it is to say what we all know. White people are racist, and they decided to gatekeep country music from blacks.
A whole lot of yous.
Well,
That's what he's saying.
Hey,
The whole lot of yous.
now Dr. Umar can be
Dr. Umar.
Dr. Umar. He does a lot of Dr. Umar things, and we have to hold Dr. Umar accountable when he's Dr. Umar, right? Or he's Dr. Umaring. But he dropped a lot of facts. Statistically, stat-wise, you can't dispute anything that he just said as it relates to the stats for that record.
No, he was absolutely spitting on that one.
That's all. That's what jumps out to me. It's all facts.
And this is the thing. I don't want this to be the case, because I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Shabuzi and the, you know, like, so here it is. I'm not sure what he was nominated for, or if he was nominated, you know, because like I said, honestly, I don't really care, but it's like he's had the #1 song, Billboard song, not just country song. I guess we're going on about 14 weeks now. Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, okay, what I think what they'll mess around and do is give him a bunch of awards to say that they didn't have something against Beyonce, or like the same way they'll give, you know, because there are some other black country artists who are doing their thing right now. Shout out to Kane Brown.
Well, if you give it to
been
one,
doing this thing for years.
But if you give it to one black country artist, then it takes away from everything else.
Yeah, but
covers everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And see, I think that's where. Look, also, let's just be real. There's, people say, oh, Beyonce did this song or did this album because she didn't feel like she got a certain level of acknowledgement when she performed at the Country Music Awards. You know, I guess I remember this is why I said Donald Trump was going to win, because when she performed in like 2016 and I was like, and then they had to turn the comments off on their website because there was so much racism coming towards. And I said, yes, that's about Beyonce being black, but it's also the fact that she came out with the Chicks, formerly the Dixie Chicks. And you got to remember, the country music artists, the country music audience does not care for the Chicks because of what they said about George Bush and,
Facts.
George W. Bush, like maybe 10, 12 years ago, but they have long memories and don't care about your activism because at the same time, you know, they also saw Beyonce singing for President Obama. They also know that, you know, if you do a deep dive, you'll find out her and Jay-Z were bailing protesters, you know, out of jail. That doesn't align with anything that the people at the Country Music Awards want to promote or want to embrace. So this isn't really much as a surprise to me. Like, she'll get the Country Music Awards maybe from when it's time for Billboard, because Billboard works off of raw numbers. Okay, they don't work off of like people's opinions and biases. Because like whenever you see an American Music Awards or Billboard Awards, or I guess iHeart Awards, those are all industry awards based on the tabulations of record sales, streams, and radio play. All right. When you talk about the Grammys, you talk about, you know, I guess the CMAs, country music. That's about people's agendas. That is about people's feelings. So I'm not surprised at this. You know, I don't know what she thought was coming or how she was going to come in here and dominate the Country Music Awards. They don't want her there.
I didn't even see anything about this or her even say anything about it. Dr. Umar is the first person I've even seen reference or talk about it. So
she hasn't said anything personally. I think it was more so people speaking out on her behalf.
Right.
Her mom had said something because they had asked Dolly Parton a few questions about the situation. She was saying that, well, although she thought Beyonce's album was very well, and this is not a direct quote. She was saying that there's other artists that she feel like they probably put in the categories because they do the country music every year.
Mm-hmm.
And the
I can see that.
pushback on that was, okay, they do it every year, but was their music better than what Beyonce submitted?
right.
And at the end of the day, if you can't say no, then you can't really use that as an argument either.
Yeah. It's not a
But
good
I mean,
rebuttal.
we've been here before with the Country Music Awards. They didn't want to let Lil Nas X perform.
True.
But he brought in what's his name? Not Miley Cyrus' daddy. Was it Miley Cyrus?
Yeah, Billy Ray
Yeah,
Cyrus.
for the remix, and that was his end.
Bada boom, bada bing.
But Beyonce is Beyonce, and I think she's figuring that, my name speaks for itself. I should be let in here, but you were proven you were corrected.
Dr. Umar was dropping game.
I mean, like he broke
I
it down
give him
from a numbers perspective, and when you realize that this record industry isn't really about who did the best, this, that, and the third, it is about numbers. And when you see that Beyonce did the numbers, when you see that I like what's the song? This Ain't Texas.
Yeah.
Whatever, I can't now. It's messed up. I can't remember the name of the song, but I like that
Texas Hold'em.
Texas Hold'em. I like that song as much as I like any Beyonce song that she's put out in the last 15 years. I like the song she did with Miley Cyrus about My Ride or Die. I like that song. Those are two of my favorite Beyonce songs of all time.
Well,
what is that? But that don't mean nothing to the people at the Country Music Awards.
Not me.
So
But yeah.
All right.
it is what it is.
Shout out
But
to
we
Beyonce.
shouldn't know. It's Beyonce. You shouldn't be surprised.
yep.
Shout out to Dr. Umar. If I don't agree with him on nothing else, I agree with him here.
No,
he was on
he
point.
cooking on that one.
Yep.
First of all, rest in peace to Dikembe Mutombo.
I
man.
believe 58 years old.
Bay.
Dikembe?
Yes.
What did I say?
Dikembe.
Kimby.
My bad.
Man.
Dikembe Mutombo.
There you go.
Rest in peace to Dikembe Mutombo.
There you go.
go.
There you go.
But he was obviously a legendary basketball player, known for blocking.
18 seasons. Yeah.
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 Multiple teams, most notably probably the Hawks.
Sixers too when they had that finals run.
Yeah.
Or the Nuggets when they were
Definitely
the first
the Nuggets too.
8 seed to be the 1.
Facts. Iconic video clip there of him with the ball.
Yeah.
That's our childhood.
But within this, again, I did some digging, and I think he is definitely probably one of the most referenced name in hip hop. And so what I did was I went and I actually made a list of, I went to lyrics.com and I found everything where he was like referenced. Now, granted, it's not every song in the world, right? But there were over 625 different references of songs in Mutombo, including Gucci Mane, Young Thug, Lil Bow Wow, Saba, Redman, Kevin Gates, Method Man, AZ, Migos, rapper Big Pooh on Life of the Party.
Yep.
The Game, Pharoah Monch, X, Jay-Z, J. Cole, Drake, Kanye West, Wale, Booney Mayfield, Chelsea Booney, Corday, Maxo Cream, Crime Apple, Joey Badass, Lil Baby, Lupe Fiasco, Lil Dicky. I can keep going. Action Bronson, Conway, Ice Cube, Jules Santana,
Yo, this is crazy.
Zeno, Chief Keef, Blue, T.I., Lil Durk, Public Enemy, Post Malone. I already said, Kendrick Lamar, Theophilus, how do you say his name? Theophilus, London, Future, Lil Yachty, Travis Scott, Lil Wayne, Dog Pound, Snoop multiple times, Eminem, Jid, T.I., and probably thousands of others. And then I went through and I actually kind of pulled up some of these. So number one, is that shocking that his name is in that?
I didn't think it would be that many, bro. I didn't. I really didn't.
It's
I
kind
feel like at one point everybody was, I remember all the Allen Iverson references and the Shaq references. And
Kobe
of
got
course,
a lot
Jordan, but like.
it's always about like on the block, like Mutombo or something like that. But I went ahead and pulled a few together, or pulled out a few. So Public Enemy's chorus for Toxic, see 'em, sell it and box it, Savage, they say we can't stop it. Flav, P.E., Rocket, Antetokounmpo, no Mutombo, I blocks it.
Ah. Okay.
Post Malone, everywhere I go, hey, catch me on the block, I'm Mutombo, wow. 750 Lambo in the Utah snow, skirt.
was that country Post Malone or was
I
that
doubt
rapping Post
Well,
Malone?
he didn't get nominated either. I actually meant to mention that in the last, but sorry.
No, it's all good. Kendrick Lamar and How Much a Dollar Costs. See how I'm chilling once. I parked this luxury car, hopping out, feeling big as Mutombo. 20 on pump 6, dirty as Marcellus. Called me Dumbo. Theophilus, sorry. London. Hey, I haven't actually heard music from him in a while.
Me either. I almost forgot about him, really.
Yeah. Hey, wonderful. I think I ran into Manute Bol in Mutombo in a bar once, and she rambled on how she met a star once, and he dashed her for the car stunt.
Okay.
Future, Jumpman. They gave me my own collection. Woo! Jump when I say jump, girl. Can you take direction? Woo! Mutombo with the just, you keep getting.
All right.
That's easily my favorite one.
I think the reason why we don't recognize or didn't pay attention to these Mutombo lines is because they weren't good lines.
Maybe that has something to do with it. Yeah.
Lil Yachty, money stacked tall like Mutombo. Get it in the morning like Alonzo. Whoever did the lyrics actually spelled this wrong. And I also did not realize, they also didn't realize that this was an Alonzo Mourning reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So, yep. Travis Scott, The Relays. Mutombo, sell it. She a thought selling top like a fronto. Oh.
So hold on. Before you even go any further.
What is going on
What
here, man?
did Mutombo have to do with anything that he just said?
Nothing.
Who knows?
Mutombo, sell it.
Sell it.
Mouth too flossy, wrist too glassy, real street inward, fingertips still ashy, wrist bust. I don't know.
Yeah, these lines
Bust
is
down.
trash.
I don't
Bust
know.
down Rolly.
The dog pound, heavyweights. Let's get ready to rumble. I'm Spud Webb out of the game, and I'm smacking down Mutombo. Homie, you don't want no problems with this heavyweight. Now, granted, Spud Webb played for the Hawks, and so did Mutombo, so there's a little bit of wordplay within that.
Okay, I see you.
That's much better.
Ski Beats, Jim Jones, and Currency on a song called Go. I don't know who actually this is, but the game don't fumble. And tall like Mutombo. Reporting like Brian Gumble. And I hope my name don't fumble out your mouth.
Shout out to Brian Gumble.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Kanye West on Problematic. Only one goat. Let you have your fun, though. Run the block like Mutombo.
Didn't
You
see
had
that
it on
coming.
alone. Every day in New Jersey on my way to New York.
Yeah, that sounds
Out
like a
of con-
haiku.
Out of context, he's
He said
hilarious.
haiku.
That sounds like a haiku.
Got him, Snoop Dogg Pronto. Got him, City Doors. Got ya, boy, Batmanin. Your girl go hard like Dikembe Mutombo. Soldier number one, but I ain't talking about the combo.
What?
Shh.
Okay.
I don't know. Eminem on Groundhog Day. The front row get launched. Show you I'm bigger than Dikembe Mutombo. I'm the effing Jumbotron. I'm a juggernaut. You don't want to rumble, you bumbaclots. I'm a stepdad.
Good job. Good job.
I could keep going, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
A lot of those was mid, bruh.
Yeah, these are like throwaway songs because
So that's, I guess that would be my question, right?
I'm sorry, I'm fumbling these controllers.
It's all good. How many of the now shouts also to Pete Sake. He's got a song called Mutombo, which is
True.
actually good. At least I think it's called Mutombo.
No, it's I know the reference that
Hold
you're
on.
talking
No, I
about.
think it is called.
Is the record called Mutombo?
You see, we shine up. You see, off beauty, express yourself.
That Lucas produced? Is that what you're talking about?
I just want to know how many times.
It's called Mount. It's called Mount
Mount
Mutombo.
Mutombo.
It's off Golden Rule.
Golden Rule. That's what.
I want to know how many times Jeff Oystertag's name was mentioned.
Okay, so it's
All right,
Ulster Tag.
So since you corrected me,
Oyster.
yeah, it's just
Oyster
definitely
tag.
Ulster Tag.
Oyster.
no, but I just thought that was interesting that his name was referenced that many times, and
Shout out to Mutombo.
and the
man.
finger wag. He's notorious for the finger wag and all that good stuff. So rest in peace to Dikembe Mutombo.
Also, just humanitarian.
That dude did a
Built
lot.
hospitals. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of guy. Just didn't come over here and get his money and.
No, that was a good
What
brother.
was it?
Man.
There was one. I don't know if it's a true story, but there was a situation where somebody was like, "Who want to sex Mutombo?" Do you remember this?
Who want to what?
It was like he went to a strip club with some other players. They were like, "Who want to sex Mutombo?"
Yeah.
Who wants to sex Mutombo?
Who wants to sex Mutombo?
You've heard it. You've heard it, haven't you?
Is the story true? We need to know if the story is true.
You've
Yes,
heard it before.
that's a confirmation.
I don't know.
No, he was in Atlanta for a good amount of time.
So he was probably
I knew.
down.
Yeah, he probably was acting real bad out there, had him a good time. I actually knew his barber. One of my best friend's cousin is his barber. So we used to go out there. I didn't meet him directly, but I actually met some other like Atlanta celebrities when I was there. Cool time. Old Atlanta was fun, man.
Out of Georgetown, man.
And now everybody's a celebrity in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You let them tell it.
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member. All details on newoldheads.com. So this one, you guys are probably familiar with it. I don't know how much you've been keeping up with the YSL Young Thug trial, but Young Thug was denied mistrial despite the judge ranting on the prosecution. I don't know if you saw that video.
I did.
But the ongoing YSL RICO trial with Young Thug, the judge not only denied a mistrial over hearsay evidence, but also criticized the prosecution over their disorganization and handling of the case.
But honestly, after a certain number of times, you start to wonder how it could be anything but that, unless it is just that you are so unorganized that you are throwing this case together as you try it. And I am sorry to say that, but this case is being made much more difficult for everybody because of the haphazard way in which it is being presented.
She ain't lying.
I'm sorry, this is going on entirely too long. Like this, he's been on trial for more than a year, and they're talking about it might go past Thanksgiving, and it's just like, I know this is something completely different, but the guys who killed Young Dolph, they tried them, and I think they're up for sentencing already.
It's a wrap.
It was less than a week.
Yeah, less than a week.
You know, so I don't know what they're presenting and what they're talking about at this point.
Well, apparently they're dropping the bag, is what the judge is saying.
The problem is this is a RICO case.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to take longer, naturally, being a RICO case, but a lot of the mishaps and the extensions and even
judges getting removed.
Everything that's involved in this case is like a circus.
Facts.
And it's like it's playing out in front of us, but it's embarrassing. Like Atlanta, the Georgia court or whatever the hell is putting on should be ashamed of how this is turning out, because there's no way that you would be able to come into a like an upstanding judge's courtroom and pretty much make it your own stage. That's not how it usually happens in court
at all.
And that's exactly what's happening. Like even from the attorneys down to the witnesses that are taking the stands, it's almost like they're looking for a viral moment in court. So they're extending it, just trying to get more publicity and more eyes on this particular situation. And it's embarrassing, I would say. Yeah.
No, I'm at this point, you know, the fact that they didn't grant him bond.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, at this point, especially to declare a mistrial or, you know, which I'm not sure if is going to happen, but
she denied it. So there's that.
Okay.
For this, but
you know, I'm sorry, but the OJ trial wasn't this long.
No, it wasn't.
So it wasn't.
Yep. Well, all right. Wrap it up, B.
Period.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
say, Mike?
No. Well,
at one point I was like, you know what, he probably did what they said he did, but at this point I was like, you know, this just seems like some foolishness. Go and let Young Thug come home.
What's his name? YSL Woody and got famous off of just appearing in court. Like that skyrocketed his career. Like if you didn't know who YSL Woody is or was before his appearance at the trial, you know who he is now. If he following media,
he's getting booked for stuff.
Yeah.
That's true. Good point.
Did you guys see Pusha T and Lauren London starred in a new Lego commercial with their children?
I did not see this.
I know Pharrell's got a Lego movie coming out.
Yeah.
So bricks by bricks, if you will.
Ignition sequence start.
Dare to be different because you are. And you were born.
And just as a reference, I removed the music so we don't get
good job.
Which is rich with creativity. So break free. Blast off.
We have ignition.
Into a universe with no limits. Revel in the treasures of your imagination and turn everything you touch into gold. Goodbye, gravity. It's your universe.
I like that.
Lego.
Shout out to Pusha T moving from all white bricks to plastic bricks.
I didn't see Pusha T though.
He was in there at the end.
Yeah,
he was in there.
Yeah. So and also it was Lord London and Nipsey's son. I believe his name's Cross.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was in there as well. So yeah, I thought
that's positive. That's good positive stuff right there. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. That's dope.
On Pusha T's Instagram, he goes bricks by bricks, BRICKS by yeah.
we gotta add the Coke
we knew that was coming in some
Gotta
way. Yeah. I like the commercial though. That's dope. I gotta watch it with the so we don't get struck. So I gotta watch the
It's
other version.
I always forget how to say the name. It's like
Guapale.
Guapale, yeah, it's that song. Go Appel.
Go Appel.
Wait a minute, man. What? Say it again.
Wow.
It's Go Appel.
Go Appel.
Go Appelle.
Go
Go
Appel.
Appel.
Yeah. But that's the song in the background.
Yeah, because it was a
Okay.
little piece of it snuck in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could hear the vocals.
Neolopolis.
Dikembe. So
Hey, I ain't mad at you, Long. You A for effort, my brother.
All right.
that's all I got today, Mike. I'm done. I can clock out.
Clocking out. All right, man. American singer, rapper, songwriter Tommy Richman was at a show, and he has some very interesting things to say about how music is dying currently. So let's watch the video, and then I have a question to pose to you all after we watch the content.
Excellent.
All right.
I feel like music is in an interesting place in 2024. I feel like it's in a real interesting place. And I feel like people's attention spans and people's just value to art is gone. I feel like now is the time for people coming up to bring the art back.
Let's go.
Bring the art back.
Let's go.
Amen.
I feel like the art is dying.
Oh yeah.
The art of building out a world is dying. I feel like Tyler the Creator is the only one doing that. Yeah. He's the only one.
come
doing
on.
One of them. Yeah.
I got hype when he said that.
Too lazy. All I gotta say is believe in yourself. Try to be something that is not coming out today. Like everybody doing the same and it's dying. Music is dying.
Did we get the point?
Yeah, I think
we did.
I think we know where he's going.
I got an interesting take on him in general, but go ahead and
So here's my thing. We pretty much, Terry spoke for us earlier. I think I'm going to do the same here. Pretty much agree for the most part, I would say, across the board. If we have any different opinions, we obviously will voice those. But here's my question. So if more artists start to use their platform, this is a pretty dope, I don't know how big the show is or whatever, but I like that he's using this moment to say it, room full of people being passionate about it. Do we think if more people and artists start to take advantage of their platforms doing this, can the message start to be received, or is this just a conversation that continues to come up and then just gets pushed under the rug?
No, people don't care, man.
That's why I said it.
Yeah, these artists don't care because, I mean, we've talked about this many a times. There's literally a formula that's involved in making it happen now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Tommy Richman actually took advantage of that. The thing about it is his sounds more structured, so to speak. But lyrically, if you listen to his lyrics, they're very simple, but they follow a melody. And I liken it to Young Thug, because Young Thug can create these melodies. It's almost like,
or it's catchy.
It's catchy, yeah. Tommy Richman, in my personal opinion, creates music. Like, did y'all listen to his album at all?
No.
So
that's why I'm glad you're saying that, because I'm kind of asleep. I just did a little research.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I see the value in what, that's, what's this name of the song? $1 Million Baby.
$1 Million Baby.
I see because as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, I see where this works. But at the same time, I was like, oh, it doesn't make me want to listen to the rest of his project.
So I'm going to tell you, I listened to his project.
Okay.
Tell me what it was like.
He's stupid.
I feel like some of this stuff I have to listen to.
Yeah.
Now, he has some joints on there that are going to work.
Okay.
But the thing about it is, in my personal opinion, Tommy Richman is the person that should be directing an artist on how to do these songs versus him actually doing the song. If that makes any sense. Because he's doing it. I remember we had this conversation about the $1 Million Baby a while ago.
Yeah.
And somebody brought up the example that, the Bee Gees did the same thing. And my rebuttal was, the Bee Gees lyrics were a lot better than a Tommy Richman, though. Like, they used the same octave and things like that, but it wasn't the same thing. The only thing that makes you think it's the same is the octave. But some of his music, to me, is weird, and it's not weird in a good way. Like, it sounds like it's trying to be old but new, but the new isn't vibrant enough to make me be like, this is the joint. It's just like, and you're doing something different. I applaud you for that, but at the same time, it lacks depth to me.
So here's my question with what you just said, because you actually just said it. you mentioned Thug earlier, reference point with the melodies and stuff like that. So I was going to ask you, is he half preaching to himself when he's saying this?
Well, I think he feels like he's doing it because he's doing something different. It is a different sound.
That's what I'm looking for.
Just because it's a different sound doesn't mean that
it's good.
Exactly. That's where I'm going. Just because it's different doesn't make it good.
I mean, it's just what it is. But to the point, like that he is saying, I think the thing that he is saying is kind of obvious for people that enjoy music. I think most people already know that music is kind of down this path. To your question, Mike, I don't think that if artists continue to come out and say this, I don't think it's really going to have any type of impact on anything because the consumers are still going to consume the way that they consume.
And you know what? That's the word. I'm glad you used that word because everything is based off of the consumer. So no matter who preaches and who, because I'm torn between that because I'm like, I'm always looking at it as if a lot of people form like Voltron and just start this message, maybe something will change. And then you guys always bring it back to ground level and say, it's just not going to work. The consumers control it and programming and it just is what it is, right? I didn't mean to cut you off, Lone, my fault, but I see where you're going.
You're good.
No, I mean, look, I think we have this conversation on a regular basis, and even when we weren't having the conversation, it happens it just gets some people be like, man, they just don't do this anymore, or they don't do this. Even when records were selling, look, I remember I was going back and it went down a rabbit hole, and I saw this video of Dennis Edwards and talking to David Ruffin. They were about to go on tour and do it. And it was like, man, they just don't sing about love anymore. And like when I'm thinking about when they said it, it's like that's all they sang about. They don't sing about the love in the way that you want to hear them singing about love.
Yeah.
There's always someone who's like, man, artistry is just not there anymore. And I'm like, and maybe it's because I'm a fan of music. When I hear that, I was like, what are you talking about? When people say, don't be wrong, shout out to him for giving props to Tyler. But I was like, and I think maybe we're in rarefied air in a way that we listen to so much music, even if we're just talking about the reviews that we do on when we review videos and we talk about certain things. It's like, man, look at all this talent. Look at all these people who are creating these fantastic sounds. If you are Tommy Richman, you're probably in spaces where you're kind of in a bubble to where you hear your music that is produced by people who are around you, who are already in sort of a major hit driven system. And then you're thinking, oh, is this all there is? And I know better. So I'm like, okay, I see where the argument comes in just because we have the argument everywhere all the time.
I think also what he's speaking on has come from a little bit of a little sneak amount of arrogance of thinking, Tyler's the only one doing it, but he's including himself in that conversation.
Yeah, nowhere near. See, the thing about Tyler is Tyler is a musician.
Yeah.
And Tyler can do multiple things when it comes to this music, this visual, this pretty much, he calls himself Tyler the Creator. He's very good at creating.
That. Yep.
I have yet to see Tommy Richman perform somewhere and sound like he does on those albums or those records that he recorded.
I've only heard him sound like his $1 Million Baby song, and it sounds just like a gimmick to me.
But did you see him perform it live?
I have not.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, because
if you see him perform it live, he can't replicate that.
I mean, when you take all the vocal processing, look, I saw an old video of I'll Be Sure, and he couldn't replicate those vocals either.
Hey,
when he was all, when he was doing Rescue Me and Off on Your Own Girl, like he can't
high octaves. He couldn't do it.
He couldn't replace that on stage or replicate that on stage.
That's why he had a couple albums and he was up out of here.
Oh no, and also like everything that he did after that, he never sang in that high register again.
Yeah.
But even back to the original point here, not to focus too much on like Tommy Richman.
Sorry,
no.
Talking.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just bringing it back.
Man.
I'm just bringing it back. I feel like this is to your point, Jay. I feel like this is something we talk about regularly on the show.
Yes.
And if we're going to address like artists become lazy because the consumer allows it,
and
it doesn't mean that artists shouldn't continue to push the envelope. And this goes back to my whole conversation, which you can look up past episodes. I don't remember which one, but it's like, there's difference between content creators and musicians and artists, and that's just kind of what it is. And so, it's just kind of a really blatantly obvious thing. It's like, but I don't think music is dying, because if you look out there, there's plenty of great music out there, and we showcase it every week.
Yep. So. That's the part where, we always hear the saying, two things can be true. His analysis, I think, is pretty accurate up until the point where he says music is dying, because to Jay Moore's point, what you guys are saying about when we do our reviews, we know better than that. You just have to sift through and find it.
But
you know what I'm saying? But
who's he preaching to on stage? That, to me, that's, because remember you were just like, more artists. I'm like, but the crowd is the consumer.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point, because who's receiving the message? That's fair. That's fair.
So
it ain't like he was on a pulpit saying that.
Music is not dying. The music industry is dying.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll take it. The movie industry is dying.
Yeah.
The video game, anything that used to make its a lion's share of its profits off of physical media is dying.
They're dying. They going to hell.
Print is dead,
and they're going to hell.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think mainstream music, in his opinion, is dying because he wants to group himself in a category. Again, like you brought up, he brought up Tyler the Creator. You reiterated that he wants to be included in that Tyler the Creator bubble.
2 songs, maybe.
Yeah, you're not Tyler the Creator.
Not even
Tyler
close.
the Creator is he's had Adult Swim shows. He's run 2 Grammys now.
Yeah.
Clothing.
Now, Tommy Richman got his start. Well, I can't say he got his start. I know the first time I heard him was with Brent Faiyaz. So he's on Brent Faiyaz's last album, and the song that he's featured on sounds very similar to $1 Million Baby. So he took that song, created $1 Million Baby. It took off. Kudos to him.
Yeah.
You sound different than everybody that's out right now, but you have to make it good. It can't just sound good. It can't be catchy until you really show something that you're a for real musician and you're outside of the mainstream bubble. I don't think you can really make that statement.
Yeah, I think he can make the statement. I hear the undertones is all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like anybody can make that statement.
But you got to show and prove if you're using your soapbox for that.
Yeah, to Terry's point, when you start dropping names and starting to group yourself,
it's like, hey,
that's the part where it's like, come on.
It's like, I'm doing these things.
Yeah, that right there.
Calm your ass down.
Yeah, that part is the part where we got to hold you accountable, buddy. Shout out to the message, but you are not that.
Let us see some
that.
more first.
Yeah. Then maybe you can say it.
All right. Maybe next time, Tommy.
Hey, I appreciate the
maybe we can go to the next one.
So one of the GOATs, Andre 3000, one of my favorite MCs of all time, there's an audio of him in an interview where he's saying, I guess pretty much saying that he's not really built for rap or built for rapping. Kind of caught me off guard when I initially saw it shared in Discord, but let's listen to the audio and then we can discuss, see what you guys think. Andre.
No, what I mean by that is, like, I don't like confrontation. Like, I'm not no battle rapper. Like, I just don't be giving a about what another rapper thinks in that way. So it's kind of like, I'll just be looking at you crazy. Like, if you try to battle, it's like, oh, nice style, but your style has nothing to do with what I'm doing. What I'm doing has nothing to do with you. So why are we even going through this exercise unless it's really for the crowd more than anything?
It's a game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's a game that people enjoy playing.
I don't, because I don't know how to play that game, because what I do has nothing to do with you. So it's a futile game. So that's why I say I don't know if I was built for rapping in that way.
What do y'all think about that? Coming from one of the GOATs.
I think he's more so talking about battle rap.
Yeah,
I didn't hear him specifically talk about rapping. He said when he's in front of somebody. He's not talking about
battle rap.
That's what it sounds like to me.
I don't know if he's talking about battle rap.
Because he specifically said, if I'm in front of somebody and they're rapping about
Nah, he's not. I'm telling you right now, he's not.
I think he's talking about something else.
He's actually referencing, he's clarifying his statements previously about, here's actually what it was. So Andre clarifies that he doesn't think he was, quote unquote, built for rapping. And so this whole thing is referenced on the fact of him feeling like he was built to be a rapper.
Hey man, I can't agree with that. You literally just,
I got albums.
You're part of one of the greatest groups of all time, rapping, And being part of that group, people single you out as one of the greatest rappers ever.
Yeah.
So you saying that is very humble on your part. I respect that. But it's simply not true.
Yeah, I don't think it's true either. But I think it's an interesting perspective to say, you know, like, I think what he's really saying kind of deep down is like, I'm not built for this rap lifestyle. Like, yes, obviously he's one of the greatest of all time, but he has no interest in rapping in somebody's face, right? He's got no interest in proving himself to anything like that.
He's past that though.
I guess, but what he's saying is like, he's never really had that, and he's never really been in any confrontations. He's never really done any of that nonsense. And I think that's why he says, I don't know if I was really built for the rapping lifestyle. Because not necessarily that I'm not a good rapper. Like, I think those are two different things.
Because it sounds like he's saying, I've never been that person from the jump, from the beginning.
Okay, well, you can switch and just say that you're a poet and you want to spit your haiku over a dope beat and do whatever you do, and I'm fine with that. You don't have to classify yourself as a rapper. So a lot of these new cats say they're not rappers either because they think they're better than being a rapper.
Yeah.
And they don't classify as that.
Yeah, but again, I think it's still him just saying, like, you know, I think also, you know, like him talking about like how he doesn't really fit in, you know, like he's never even gotten any confrontations, like even back when you think about him dressing all funny and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
because don't nobody want that. They don't want that smoke.
Maybe that's a major part of it, but at the same time,
and they respect him.
Yeah,
that's another thing too.
That's true.
I think it's more respect than the smoke part, because he's never shown himself to be, to his point, confrontational or even remotely try to do any battle type stuff.
Yeah,
I know how to.
You know what I'm saying?
I know how to use words very well.
That's what I'm going to do.
And that's what
never
I'm gonna do.
came off as a threat to another artist.
Nope.
To where I want to poke at Andre 3000. Even when Eminem named his top MCs, Andre 3000 is in that. Yeah. And people have talked about Eminem.
Yeah.
And nobody's talking about Andre. Just his aura is different, man.
Yeah. And also, like, if you start like dissing Andre, like, yeah, I'll him up or whatever what people would be like, what is your problem? It's all,
like, why would you even say that about Andre 3000?
You know, it's like people would look at you like a weirdo if you decided you wanted to be like, yo, I'm calling Andre 3000 out. First of all, no, you don't want to do that, especially when he felt like he was a rapper. You didn't want that kind of smoke.
Yeah.
And even if you did, it's like there's certain people who are just such nice people, or overall have an aura about them that's just so positive.
Yeah.
To where if you said something, it's kind of like, you know, the way I feel about, you know, there's certain DJs, you know, in the city. Like, I know why people don't like me. I mean, like, you know, me and Metro, we know why there are people who maybe don't like us. But like, if it would be like if somebody said something crazy about Scott Metallic, we'd be like, what's wrong with you that you don't like Scott Metallic?
What did he do?
Yeah, what did he do?
Andre, I think that's all he was really saying was that like, yeah, you know, like I don't have the same desires as what most of my rapping peers have.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know.
Because he does it so effortlessly.
Yeah. Oh, he's just an artist, man.
Yeah,
he's literally
just an artist. He's just an artist.
He's just all he does.
Just an artist. That's exactly what he is.
So, anyways, we can move on, I think.
Yeah. Out to 3 stacks though, man. He's staying on his pivot, I guess. Down on his point. So
he gonna keep driving that point home until all of a sudden there's a
I think he was asked about it again.
surprise album that just pops up out of nowhere.
I don't think so.
He's done with the flute. I think he's gonna give us another one before.
I think he is completely done.
I
like,
don't.
I don't think it lives in his spirit anymore.
I don't. You can't, like I said, again,
horoscopes often lie.
Even if
until they raise the curtain. You know, like
him and I.
I'm coming over your crib if that happens.
Listen,
I'm driving to your house if that happens.
I feel like Andre still has. What did he say? He stood up with his chest out at the Source Awards in 1995, 1996, and said the South got something to say.
And then he said,
and
then he stopped.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's done.
Yo, can you agree with me on that you won't listen to it until I pull up?
Yeah,
I don't care
fine.
what time it dropped.
That's fine. He's gonna drop an album.
Okay,
wearing his Huckleberry Finn overalls, and he might even play the flute on this rap album.
Can I pick you up, Long?
Low key, that's a very hard ask. to have Terry wait until you show up.
For a 3000 album.
Yeah, that is. When I think about it in the grand scheme of things.
I think we're pretty good friends. He can wait.
That would probably be a midnight run. If it dropped at midnight, I'm probably listening to it at midnight.
Look, I'm not trying to be funny, but whatever amount of time it takes you to get over there, you need to leave.
He gonna be the list to the whole album.
No, like if it takes you 25 minutes to get to his house, you better leave at 11:35.
Yeah, I think I feel like the music is still in him, man. That's why
might be.
he's literally on a tour touring.
Yeah,
this
it comes
flute
out
joint.
as flutes.
And I think maybe that's even part of it too, though. You know, it's like he just doesn't want to play the game. He doesn't want to play the rapping game. He doesn't want to play the music industry game. And this is just him further clarifying.
I'm sure him touring with the flute tour or whatever is way less stressful than the artist.
Erykah Badu popped out with him on the tour.
Listen, shout out to 3 Stacks, bro. At the end of the day, we still mess
This is the thing on the rap tip. Stacks you can drop. You don't even have to tour it, man. You can just drop it.
Yep.
I'll be perfectly fine with that.
Yep.
So, in the theme of what we've been doing for the past few weeks, we've had drafts, we've had regions, discuss this, discuss that. I thought it would be cool for us to do or come up with a list of top 10 storytellers in hip hop.
This list has Notorious B.I.G.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we need to talk more. Slick Rick, of course, he's up there for me.
Yep.
Nas.
He told a story backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, true.
I mean,
Nasty Nas. Scarface.
Good one.
Tupac Shakur.
Yep.
MC8. Interesting. Outkast. Sasha Thumper is the only reference they have here, but there's more. Eminem. Yeah, I guess. Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Black Rob. You know what's interesting? If you listen to his album, I bought that album. It is actually very much a lot of storytelling on there.
I remember when he bought it.
Yeah.
I didn't have it. I can't front.
But granted, that's only one album, so.
Let me see the songs that they put for Ice Cube real quick.
Today Was a Good Day and Once Upon a Time in the Projects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ghostface Killah, I would say, yeah.
He got more than All I Got Is You.
Yeah. DMX, yes, he's got some. 8 Ball, Jay-Z, J. Cole, Warren G, Biz Markie, interesting. The Lox. I don't know about the Lox.
How is All About the Benjamins a storytelling record?
I don't think it is. Yeah. Meek Mill.
Some of this is cap.
Meek Mill. NWA.
That's good.
No, they have some stories.
Ice-T.
Oh, so they're
God.
when you look, are they adding Ice Cube? Everybody?
It says NWA, so I'm guessing it's NWA.
We're just gonna take NWA. Yep.
I mean, it's just a list. Who cares about the list? I think this is for reference.
This is for reference. Yeah.
Mobb Deep, Foxy Brown.
You gonna skip right past Ice-T?
I know. I already said them twice.
Sure.
Yeah, emotionally begin.
Mobb Deep, Foxy Brown. I don't know.
No.
Beanie Siegel.
Yes.
I like some Beanie Siegel. Wu-Tang Clan. I don't know of any storytelling records from them as a crew.
Impossible. Ducks. No.
Cream, maybe.
No, not Cream.
Not Cream. What am I thinking of?
What's the joint where they talk about the MGM? Is that Duck Season? No, that's not Duck Season. Oh, it was called MGM. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, when I think of an MC that's a storyteller, I kind of feel like the storytelling is more so their thing, versus them having one song that tell the story.
Fair enough.
UGK, Andre Benjamin, Eve, interesting.
What they have listed, like
Cool G Rap.
They don't even have for Eve. They don't even have Love Is Blind, which is definitely
that's the only storytelling song that I can think of for me. But
so let's put some names on the list here. Who's definitely? So I would say definitely Biggie.
Big.
No question.
I would say definitely Slick Rick.
No question.
Ice Cube.
Definitely Scarface.
Yeah.
Nas.
Ice Cube, Scarface, Nas.
Pac.
Tupac?
Yeah, Pac got to be in there.
Stories. So this is the thing about Tupac. Tupac was poetic, but I personally don't feel like he was telling.
For sure, you want to be a thug.
No, well, I mean he's got like that.
Brenda's got a baby.
But I mean,
wonder why they call you bitch. Brenda's got a baby.
He's got a
Dear mama, I ain't mad at you.
Keep your head up. Well, he's not really telling a story on keep your head up. It's more so
uplifting.
Yeah, it's more so uplift. It's not a story.
It's like things that are happening as opposed to like
my homies call.
My homies call really in a story. Holla If You Hear Me. The video is a story, but the song really.
They have listed Dear Mama, I Ain't Mad at You and Brenda's Got a Baby.
What about Kendrick Lamar?
Kendrick Lamar
he does.
I mean, his album
Good Kid, Mad City starts as a story.
True.
The first song, Shireen, whatever.
The whole album is a story.
That's what I mean. Like
Sing About Me is a story.
He kind of approaches his whole project as
His
stories.
whole songs. is a story.
Kendrick can be in there. Kendrick can
He
be in there.
absolutely
For
can
me,
be in there.
Kendrick can be in there.
2 more.
Ice-T.
Ice-T.
Is this our final 10 or we just getting...
I don't know enough Ice-T to even reference.
I mean, like, honestly, when you almost all of his songs are stories, especially when you talk about what was off of Power, because it's all telling, like, it's basically New Jack Hustler story.
That song was cool.
KRS-One tells stories.
Yeah,
he does.
Love's Gonna Get You, you know that. Yes,
Ghostface, DMX.
I would put Ghostface and DMX in there.
Just if we picking from a pool,
especially DMX's early stuff.
Yeah. What about Jay?
Jay tells stories.
Jay
Like
definitely tells stories.
If we're talking about some of these other artists on this list, Jay tells stories.
What's a story Jay has?
99 Meet
Problems?
the Parents.
99 Problems.
99 Problems.
Song Cry.
Definitely a story.
December 14th.
Or December 4th.
4th. Look, I'm giving you my whole extra digit.
Yeah. What am I missing? Oh, You Must Love Me.
We already said that.
Did we say that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That song's fire.
It was all good just a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Featuring Too Short.
Yeah. Jay definitely.
Would you put Too Short in there?
I don't know. Like, I guess when I think about a lot of these songs, I think of kind of like what Terry's saying. Like, I don't feel like they're full stories sometimes. I feel like he's like 99 Problems is. But like a lot of them just seem like
Problems is cold.
A lot of them seem just kind of like references.
He's got some stuff that are stories, but I mean, if we're talking about whole style being stories,
yeah,
the only people that are going to be on here are Slick Rick.
Slick Rick is Nas probably.
Scarface,
yeah, maybe Ice-T based off Jay. Ghostface definitely has a lot, but his stories are weird a lot of times. I'm thinking.
What about Beans?
Beans has stories.
Beans got some stories.
Yeah, I would put Beanie Siegel over Jay-Z.
Yeah. Beans got some stories.
I don't know if I would put him over Jay-Z.
Not over Jay-Z.
I think I would.
Jay got some stories.
I've listened to Jay-Z enough to know that he has some story stuff.
I have too,
the
but
mainstream shit.
I don't know. Okay.
I think Beans got to be in the pool though.
Yeah.
Beans got to be in the pool.
Hell,
Snoop
got some stories.
He's got this. No, kinda.
Murder Was the Case.
I mean, Eminem does have some too.
Mm-hmm. M got some class.
I mean, Stan is
a classic record.
Yeah, I mean, like even on his first album, he's got a lot of stories. Like Brain Damage is essentially a story.
True.
Like, yeah.
Good point on that one.
What's our boy from Chicago that got killed? King Vine.
Yeah.
King Vine's whole shit is really stories.
I don't know.
If you've ever listened to him.
I don't know his records like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I take your word for it, but
the first 6 are pretty strong. Biggie, Slick Rick, Cube, Scarface, Nas, Tupac. I can't see it because of the light.
Is this like a number one, or are we just saying?
No, just 10. Yeah, just 10. I think that first 6 is strong.
Scarface, Nas, Tupac.
Yeah, I think that's strong.
I think Kendrick belong. Yeah, I mean,
y'all think that got enough?
Not to be a Lamar's, but his albums are literally stories.
The whole thing.
That's what I mean. Like
they're themes.
He might be like more story themed than any of these people.
Yeah,
like potentially. You know, like Duckworth, but
Duckworth is amazing.
But if you think of like the whole projects, like Good Kid, Mad City is a whole thing.
True.
So it's like, I don't know.
Damn is really a whole thing because it was a whole thing of listening to it forward and then listening to it backwards, and it had a different meaning.
What about J. Cole?
J. Cole's got some stuff, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if I put him in that category of storytelling. Like, don't get me wrong, I know he has it.
He's got some stuff though.
What was it?
Cole's got some stuff, man.
What was the one where he talked about the first time he hit something?
Where's Fox, the legend? I know he knows.
A Lupe Fiasco.
I thought about Lupe.
Oh, how could I forget about Lupe?
Yeah,
Lupe has to be in there. Good call, Terry. He has to be in there.
Royce has some stuff too.
He did.
Royce has some. Cocaine is an amazing song.
It is. It's
like,
emotional.
Damn, I forgot about Royce. Lupe is a monster, bruh.
What about Mos Def? What about Nipsey Hussle? I don't know. Let's eliminate. Let's get this down. We need 3 more. We have 7. What are 3 more out of this
3
list?
more people. Black Thought, maybe. Does he tell stories or does he just rap very well?
He just raps very well. Elite.
I don't know.
He's a mixture. blues in there
No,
too.
no,
I
no.
mean, because their albums are
Fonte.
themes.
What about Fonte?
Oh my
Yeah, that's
God.
true.
I would put Black Thought in there when you even think about the mainstream things that the Roots have done.
Damn,
these are
Mo.
stories that he's telling.
Yeah, that is true.
Fonte.
Yeah, Fonte definitely.
You said KRS-One. You already got him.
Is Ghost on the outside?
Ghost is in here.
Yeah.
He's in?
I mean, he's in the top 20 that we
he's in-
have, but
He just ain't cracking the top 10. Huh.
now I'm obviously biased, but I'd probably put Fonte in the top 10.
Damn, man. We know his catalog, though. A lot of people are,
Yeah, I know.
you know what I'm saying?
It has been defunded.
Fonte got some. I don't know why he's so criminally underrated, man.
Sky Zoo.
Yeah, he tells very good stories.
Sky Zoo.
He does projects.
That is literally his.
You know what?
That's his thing.
mantra is telling
That's
stories.
his
I think I'm gonna go ahead and make the executive decision on Sky Zoo.
I vote
here.
Sky Zoo. Yes. I vote Sky Zoo.
He's an immaculate storyteller.
I vote Sky Zoo. Good job.
I don't know. 2 more. What are we gonna do? Ice-T?
I think Ice-T has to be in there.
I'm sleep. I ain't gonna hold you. Love
I
Ice-T.
Like
Love.
honestly, when you look at basically everything that he puts out as a single is a 6 in the morning story.
That's
High
a story.
Rollers, a story. I'm Your Pusher, a story.
Yeah.
New Jack Hustler, a story.
Yeah.
You Played Yourself, a story.
Yeah.
Every black person over 50 is gonna be mad at me because I don't enjoy Ice-T at all.
Because it's
He said every black person over 50.
that's not
That
necessarily
is a very
true, man.
specific group,
It's
sir.
not necessarily true because
Oh, it is. I
honestly-
know the comments.
No, honestly,
He
when's
does
the
know the
last time
comments.
you've been out and Jay Moore's in the club more often than not, and somebody drops some iced tea?
Now that's
Has
a
nothing
fair
to do-
question.
Has nothing to do about
I
clubs.
know.
Has nothing to do about
I
clubs.
know.
We
but-
just asking.
And the reason why I say that is because it doesn't matter what age group I DJ for. If you don't play an Ice T song, they ain't tripping.
So
They just don't like if
I say
you're-
that.
because you're talking shit about it.
But that's-
and you've never really heard
that's
him, though.
cap, though.
That's
cap.
I have heard Ice-T rap,
But
but
Lone-
I have never enjoyed an Ice-T rap.
Lone,
in my
that's
life.
cap though. That's cap from Terry.
What's
I'm gonna
cap?
tell you why that's cap.
Why is that cat?
Because you've DJ'd places where the crowd is a upper age, we'll say.
Yeah.
And I promise you, if you drop an Ice T joint, it's gonna be somebody in the corner with Paul Masson in their pocket that's
Damn,
gonna
why
be like,
gotta be
yo,
that?
they gonna be like, yo, that ring off. Good job, young fella. I see you, young
I
boy.
need more than a somebody.
I'm just saying it can happen though, is what I'm saying.
It can.
That's all.
All I'm saying.
He had
is-
better album covers to me than actual albums.
His album covers.
I'll just say I can say anything about Ice-T. Just be like, you know what? I've listened to it. And it's just not my thing.
I like
And it
that.
doesn't
Ice-T.
matter. It doesn't
But
matter
they
if I
still
say
gonna
that.
roast you.
I can say
Ice-T.
that, and I can say he's the worst rapper of all time, and I will get the same response.
Why y'all got
It
this
doesn't
white?
matter.
Why y'all got this white boy talking about Ice T
I'm just
and
saying.
rap?
He's just not my forte. I listened to him. He
It's
was
just like
before
if-
my time.
So
You
if
know.
if the tables were flipped and this
man.
wasn't a hip hop podcast,
Oh man.
and I got to telling people or white folks how much I dislike Leonard Skinner, then I would probably get the same thing.
That's fair, I guess. I mean, I think there's, but me being the objectionable person I am, I'll be like, that's fair. That song's played the out.
Yeah.
The whole band is, but
Yeah.
you know, like anytime that there's a Vietnam movie, you're gonna get some. It's like,
Why is he so spot on? Though?
it's like
I mean,
it's
he's
time for
right.
some Leonard Skinner, man.
Hey, Oliver Stone, go ahead and pull up that Leonard Skinner and let's put it in scene 3.
That's
like, oh,
hilarious. He's
Especially
spot
when the
on.
helicopters are pulling off. It's
That's
like,
hilarious.
Hey, you stupid. He said especially when the helicopters are pulling off.
it's just what it is.
Hey, that's so spot on.
I'll take it. You know, like Ice-T is definitely a legend, so I'm not trying to trash him. But that's why I asked
Nah, he a whole
specifically
legend.
Jay, does he belong there? Because Jay is a
Yeah,
fan.
we gonna go with
Yeah,
you on
you
that
know,
one.
I'm like,
And I
this-
went with every song that you would even possibly like that
Those
you
are
would be at the
stories.
top. Those
Those
are
are
all
stories.
stories.
So
He's true.
would you say that Ice-T's stories are better than Cool G rap stories?
I could make a case for them.
Good. You make a case.
I can make a case for 6 in the morning, especially when you talk I'm Your Pusher and you put I would put I'm Your Pusher, 6 in the morning, and maybe High Rollers,
Colors.
and Color. I would put those 4 up against anything that Cool G Rap has ever done.
All right.
I think we're gonna have to defer to you on this one, bro.
I say,
We're gonna defer to you on this.
I say, put him in there.
Yeah, we're gonna defer to you on this one.
I
Bro.
mean, especially if most of his stuff is that,
He
then
can get the executive choice
Yeah.
on that. joint.
I'm not even mad at it. I
I'm
feel
not.
like-
I'm not mad at
I feel
I just give Ice-T a hard time because Jay Moore loves him. That's the only reason.
Shout out to 50
But
year
nah,
old
he got some for real tight out there.
legendary
But his
shit.
album covers are legendary.
You just like because old girls on the, especially on the cover of Power.
Shout out to all the 50-year-old black males. We see y'all.
Hey, if we have one more, who are we putting on there out of all these people?
Out of all those people,
man,
Fonte,
Lupe, man.
Black Thought, Royce da 5'9", Lupe, J. Cole, Eminem, probably Eminem.
It's got to be Lupe.
Stories.
I'd put Fonte on there.
I got Lupe.
I don't know, man.
You have to have Lupe.
Yeah,
bro.
that's
My personal favorite is Fonte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Lupe the Cool. The
Come on,
stories
man.
the Cool was
Come
crazy.
on, man. Come on, man.
Royce is a really good too.
Because if we use the album argument in favor of Kendrick, the Cool beyond applies.
That's
for a story.
Yeah, that's definitely.
You
true.
see what I'm saying?
That's definitely true.
You gotta put Lupe. To me, it's Lupe. He gets my vote.
Okay.
Gotta put Lupe in there.
Can Eminem take anybody's places? Because it's really hard to leave Eminem off when you talk about storytelling.
I don't know.
I do agree with that.
Me being Tupac is one of my all-time favorite MCs.
Did you replace him?
I'm feeling like because I'm thinking of stories, man.
Yeah.
Biggie as well, even though Biggie got a song literally called I Got a Story to Tell.
I was kind of wondering about Biggie too. He's got some good ones.
But Biggie got I Got a Story
albums.
to Tell. Niggas bleed.
Niggas bleed,
there's
yeah.
stories. All go listen to Life After Death.
Life After Death is full of stories.
Yeah, I
hell.
agree. Yeah. I mean,
Even Ready to Die, it starts as a little story.
True.
True.
I think Big stays. Man.
Warning, Big. Yeah,
I think
got
Big
some stories.
stays.
His only like thing is the fact that he doesn't have a lot of material.
That's the one knock on him, but he's so good at it. Like Biggie stays, Slick Rick stays, Cube, Scarface, Nas, Kendrick, Sky Zoo to me stays.
Tupac gotta stay.
Lupe stays. Pac. I mean,
stories.
Eminem Stan is like
phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a great story. But how many other stories?
He got that first album though.
His first album was like an entire
that's Slim Shady.
His first two.
Guilty Conscience.
His first two were actually
Marshall Mathers got stories.
And I'm not. And you're talking to somebody who's not an Eminem fan like
Snoop ain't even on this, and he got stories.
Yeah.
If M replaces somebody though,
that's the only question.
If it was my vote,
Ice-T.
Yeah, I'd put Eminem in there over. Shout out to Ice-T, but I think I would put Eminem in there over if it was my vote. I know Jay Moore is gonna disagree.
Stories.
But Eminem got some. Man, he got some.
I mean, that's just where we just have to go with like the 6 or 7 songs that I named off in a row, just off the top of my head. All that stuff resonates with me way more than the stuff that Eminem has done.
He's right.
Don't get me wrong, Stan was cool, but like, you know, you could say, oh, it was the last time anybody really played an Ice-T song out. I was like, well, when was the last time anybody played Stan out?
All right.
That's fair.
Nobody plays
That's
Stan.
fair.
That doesn't.
That's fair.
When's the last time you even listened to Stan by yourself?
That's fair.
I haven't probably since.
Yeah, that's fair.
Came
Dude,
out.
I've been out and heard 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
True.
I might stick an Ice-T joint in just because I'd never hear it out.
You might see somebody riding by beating in a Caprice playing Colors. There's a chance that you can hear that.
Yeah, I haven't heard that since the 90s. In
I'm
nobody's
just saying.
car.
Oh, I'm just saying. It's a weather break.
You played on a motorcycle.
Might be on a motorcycle.
All right, so I guess we're gonna roll with this, and Eminem's gonna come in a close
honorable
11th.
mention.
He's gonna be 11th.
I don't know. Hold on. Let's go down the list.
Is he gonna take Tupac's spot?
No.
Why you say no?
That was an easy no.
Like, whose spot can he really
we
take?
forgot somebody though.
Who did we forget?
Reggie Noble. Redman, for those that don't know.
Oh man.
Yeah, I still don't think I would put him in the top 10.
I don't know if he's
Method Man. I'm just adding more people to this story shit. Method Man.
And we probably forgot. Well, we definitely forgot.
I know
They'll tell us in the comments though.
Slug from Atmosphere has really good stories.
I don't know, man. We just got to put M as honorable mention or take one of them out.
I think just honorable mention at this point.
Yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't take any of these people out for Eminem. Shout out
Biggie,
to
Slick
him,
Rick, Ice Cube, Scarface, Nas, Tupac, Kendrick, Jay Zoo, Lupe Fiasco, and Ice-T.
I know the ones we're gonna get pushed back on, but I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, I do too. So, but we got other people on there too.
That's a whole list.
I like the list though. I like the list.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else have another one they want to add that they can just think of? Yo, Nipsey Hussle. You got on a Nipsey Hussle shirt.
I said him.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yep.
He's not on there.
Nip definitely.
Let me see the list that they posted again real quick.
That was, I think, I forgot about Mobb Deep.
We got enough time.
Yeah, they had some
We
weird
should
stuff on
probably
there.
move on because lingered. MC8, Black Rob, DMX, 8 Ball, Warren G, Bismarcky, The Locks.
They said Warren G off regulators.
Yeah, but when I see what they listed for
Mobb
NWA,
Deep,
I was like, these people don't even know what they're
Wu-Tang
talking
Clan, UGK, Eve, Fugees, Andre, and Outkast. So they listed both. They have Eminem as 8th. They have Outkast as 7th with Sasha Thumper. Is that even? That's not even.
Not even the name of the song.
This is why
it's the art of storytelling.
The art of storytelling and the art of storytelling part 2.
Yeah, we know who wrote this.
Susie Q had a partner named
It definitely wasn't a 50-year-old black man.
No.
Yeah. And on that note,
he's stupid, man. All right, that was fun, man. We were able to agree. Yeah, so for, as I always say, newoldheads.com for all the education you need this year. If you see it, like it, subscribe to it, hit a bell for notification. Also check out our Patreon options starting at $5.
Starting. You can go more than that.
We work our way up from there. Also, if you see anything that allows you to give us a rating, please do 5 stars. As my man Jay Moore says, you hate me, you don't give us 5 stars. We appreciate the support as always. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Bye.
Yeah.